Blind City. Yeah.
Track killer.
The legend.
Yeah, a lot of history behind this.
Ramrilla.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out and connect with the youth. These rappers out here, they ain't telling the truth. God ain't blessing the trap, it's just a trap. So the blessing in that is zero. I'm the proof, so I'm blessing the booth.
Welcome to Blind City.
My name is Langford Cunningham. Welcome to Blind City. When I first found out I was going blind, I had over 30 operations on my eye. And the doctor told me, you will no longer be able to go to work. You will be on disability. And it was like my life went into a whirlwind. A job that I love going to help youngsters see their goals in life. And it seemed like my goal in life has ended. And I went into straight depression. And if I did go into depression, I didn't know it. But I was losing weight. I was isolated. I was staying in my room. And I was asking God a lot of questions. And I wasn't getting no answers. I started looking for things around the house to commit suicide with. I even made phone calls to certain drug dealers I knew. What would be easy of me taking a pill that would take me right out of here? And that's why it's important to have certain friends in your life that are positive or have some type of spiritual faith. Because if you're surrounded by goons and killers, you're going to jump off the cliff without a parachute. And I had goons. I had killers. But I also had people with faith. And that helped me make that U-turn in life. And then I started hearing a voice. So God kind of showed me a study film of all my faults where I didn't glorify him throughout my whole life. He said, when you bought all those cars with rims, you didn't give me glory. When you went to the mall and bought all those clothes, you didn't give me glory. When you chased all them women, you weren't giving me glory. So you lived your whole life for self-gratification. And I had to step back, and tears came out of my eyes. And I apologized. And that's when I gave my life to Christ. Because he also told me, you either can handle this two ways. You can walk towards me, or you can go the other way. And if you go the other way, I can't promise that I will come back for you. And that's when I got on my knees and accepted Christ in my life. Because I gave glory to all the wrong things in life but God. And I'm here to tell people through Blind City, we have to open our eyes to what we are going through. That's the only way we're going to get out the darkness to see the light. Sometimes we have to look in the mirror and point the finger at ourselves and dig deep inside our souls to pull ourselves out of this cave. Yes, I am blind, but I still have vision. Welcome to Blind City.
It took him losing his sight to find his vision. Real life, real situations, real people. This is Blind City with your host, Langford Cunningham.
The vision for the show for Blind City is bringing citizens within that community that are out there in the streets trying to make a difference. Racism, crime, and poverty affects every city. We're not on the same page in the community. We're very divided. We're going to have a lot of amazing guests. People within the Blind City community that are putting their faith on the front lines, putting their lives at risk to help other people see their vision. We will have people that are out there in the streets. It's a lot of people in pain right now. It's a lot of people that are frustrated. It's a lot of people that are dealing with addiction, from drugs to suicide. And there's really no outlet. There's really no outlet. When I start listening to a lot of podcasts, I really couldn't find a lot of shows that really talked about assisting other people to find the light through their darkness. Now, I hear a lot of ranting. I hear a lot of pointing the fingers, but I haven't heard a show that creates a therapeutic listening, counseling, and help for people that are really dealing with their pain. Because, when we go out in society, everybody is a facade. How you doing? How's your day? Oh, it's great. But when they go home and close their door, all bats come flying out of hell. You'd be surprised what some of these people are going through once they go back home and close their door. That's Blind City.
This is Pastor Rick. You're listening to Blind City,
the podcast.
The views expressed on Blind City are to inspire and motivate people who are struggling through the dark times and searching for the true light.
Church in the streets, welcome to Blind City with Pastor Rick. Pastor Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
What we're doing right now, Pastor Rick, I'm kind of introducing the community to Blind City, and I wanted to get your perspective on Blind City.
Well, I believe Blind City is a good vehicle to get to people who wouldn't normally be in an environment that we call the church, not be in a place where they would not feel comfortable, a place where they might feel out of character, a place where they might have even suspicion of the people who are in there looking at them in a strange way. They might not feel welcome. So this is to help people get a word that they would not be able to get any other way.
Church in the streets with Pastor Rick. My name is Langford Cunningham. Pastor Rick, how can we reach the youth with the murders, dysfunctional families? How can Blind City help some of these issues we're having in the Blind City community?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. I think that most of the world is trying to figure that one out right now. But I see Blind City as a vehicle to help that. We know that whatever environment you're in, wherever you get your inspiration is what gives you not just food for thought, but it also gives you a way to consider your value or your values, a way to consider what you would believe would be worth your time. And so normally we don't look into those things we have no understanding of. And of course, church is one of the things now that the previous two generations have no knowledge of, because a lot of people in the last two generations have not had any kind of a relationship with church, or even a person in their family who's had a relationship with church.
Pastor Rick, we have a lot of corruption with the politics, the pointing fingers at one another. How can we get united in America as one? Because it seems like the people that are in power, they seem like they're using their power in the wrong ways. They're not really touching the people.
You know, we have become too dependent upon institutionalized change. In other words, we're looking for politics, the law, the government. We're looking for institutions to change what we think or how we think or what we should do. And it's not really about institutions. It's really about individuals, because everything that we do is based on our own individual choice.
We're dealing with a lot of division and fear among the people and the citizens of the Blind City community. How can we get past the division and fear?
We as people like to control something. We like to control our environment. We like to control what comes into our environment, whether it's in our own home, house, apartment. Even if I'm homeless, if it's in my car or in the tent that I'm living in, we like to control what's in that atmosphere. We like to control it. But it's the fact that we really don't have control that causes us to have fear. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's coming next. I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. I don't know if I'm going to get a job. I don't know if I can hold a job. I don't know if this is enough money to make it or not. I don't know if the one who I think loves me really does love me. I don't know if I can trust this. I don't know if I can trust that. It's all based on some kind of control, and we don't have control. So I think one of the first things we've got to admit is I'm not in control of anything. The only thing I can really control is my choice. And I've got to make a choice now that'll bring me life and not death.
Church in the Streets with Pastor Rick. Thank you, Pastor Rick. And I would like to dedicate this show to the teachers, the mothers, and the fathers, nonprofit organizations within the Blind City community, helping these kids have a better future. to my mother, Betty Cunningham, who is also living with cancer. When I lost my sight, she helped her only son see his vision. Thank you to the listeners of the Blind City community, my citizens, and to God Mama Productions. Welcome to Blind City.
Look for future episodes of Blind City the podcast coming soon, featuring the woman of faith on the streets taking on sex trafficking, the drug dealer and the politician, a story of redemption, world-famous author Wilma Chestnut, and her inspiring story of courage and determination. And Stebo, from the violent streets of St. Louis to rap sensation.
Blind City, the podcast, is produced and recorded at Clayton Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. The views expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily those of Clayton Studios or its affiliates.
Blind City. Yeah.
Track killer.
The legend.
Yeah, a lot of history behind this.
Ramrilla.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out and connect with the youth. These rappers out here, they ain't telling the truth. God ain't blessing the trap, it's just a trap. So the blessing in that is zero. I'm the proof, so I'm blessing the booth. My soul is a mirror, my vision is clearer. No more making them quick decisions in error. Avoid the prisons and the stigma of the system that got us missing. But will they listen to me since I'm not from their era? They call me realer cause it don't get no realer. I'm from a city full of wolves and gorillas. The blind lead the blind, and only the strong can survive. So we gotta reach out to the youngsters and hope that they feel us.
Can they feel us? Can they really open their minds? Cause right now we got killers and shooters. The people in the community, you gotta stand up, baby. You gotta wake up. Gangsters, you gotta wake up. Strippers, you gotta wake up. Preachers, you gotta wake up. You gotta come out that sanctuary. You gotta come into the streets. You gotta raise church in the streets. Yeah.